Welcome. So I was talking to my best friend Jackson not too long ago, and we were talking about dating, and he was saying how his dating life has really slowed down since he's kind of focused on himself. And I was telling him how mine's non-existent because, it's just not. And I've taken more of a coaching role and, teaching the youngins how to really step up their game. But with that being said, I want to talk about the last really good date that I went on. And I'm going to name the girl. Her name was Katrina. She's an awesome girl. I still talk to her from time to time. And it's really funny because there's been multiple Katrinas, and I've only told one Katrina about the other Katrinas. And so the Katrina who knows about the other Katrinas knows who I'm talking about. But then there's going to be other Katrinas who are like, oh, is he talking about me? I'm not talking about y'all. With that being said, it was fantastic. And we went on a couple of days, and she was amazing, but she moved. So, things kind of got a wrench caught in them. But one of the coolest things is she was one of the only girls to ever kind of go halvesies on a date with me. And in speaking to Jackson, we were talking about how much money have you spent on dates? And so I kind of went back and went through my bank statements and credit cards, and I saw that I had spent $15,000 on dates in the past year. Let me explain to you what $15,000 I could have put a down payment on a 4Runner and had exponentially more fun in that 4Runner. All right. That's on me. I should have, taken a step back and seen where my actual, happiness would have been spent. My money would have spent better, but you live and you learn. That being said, a question that I want to ask, that has been coming across on a lot of platforms for me to ask is, who should pay for dates? Right now, we live in a society where I almost want to say I think it's expected for men to pay for dates. While that is changing, I still think that's kind of one of the remnants of the old guard that is staying, whereas you go on a date with the guy usually pays for the date. Now there are going to be some women who go, I always offer to go halves and things like that. That's great, fantastic, you're doing a great job. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the other women and or men, depending on how you swing, in regards to dating, right? And I'm very curious, in heterosexual relationships, who should pay for a date, right? When it's a man and a woman, because, we have a stigma or kind of an idea of what that should be. Then I'm also curious about, homosexual relationships. When it's a woman and a woman and a man, how do you decide who pays for dates? And if you guys go halvesies, please share that with the heterosexual community, because I'm tired of carrying all this dead weight. That's unfair. It's not dead weight, but, I'm a little bitter, and I should be, because I spent $15,000 in the wrong place last year. So I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say about who should pay for dates in homosexual and heterosexual relationships. More so for me, I'm curious about the homosexual relationships, but from giving advice onto the youngins in my life right now, who all my homosexual buddies seem to be killing it. So I really need to help out my heterosexual buddy. So, I'm going to take some notes depending on what you guys say. And then on top of that, another thing that was brought to my mind was my younger sister was like, if you go on a date and the woman says, let's go half, that's okay. But if the dude says, let's go half, it kind of makes him seem broke. And I'm curious what you guys think about that as well. So I'm very curious to read your replies. And I also want you guys to, think about it in the way of, when you reply, it's not just for me, right? We're creating like a mini brain trust for everyone who's reading to kind of feed off of each other and understand. And so I'm really excited about that, and I want other people to take advantage of that. So, always keep in mind that when you are replying, you're replying to just give knowledge to other people, right? And even that knowledge is very one-sided in your opinion, it's a beautiful thing to share anything with anyone else. So I'm super excited for this one, guys, and thank you very much.